I'm ready to digest. Well, now that I've lost all of my viewers, hello everyone. Welcome to a brand new series that I am so unbelievably excited to take part in today. We are going to be doing something a little different than usual. Normally, you guys send me your art and I have a look at it. We have a jolly old time reviewing the incredible things that you guys put out. But today we're doing something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I would like to show you, let me show you my screen real quick so you guys can get an idea of what I'm looking at here. This right here, if I can make myself smaller. Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to the chat, everybody. This right here is a little story by a familiar someone who frequents these chats. Corviana _8 or 7 over on Wattpad. Last stream, yesterday, for anyone who doesn't know, I was asked if I could take a look at their story. And after some, public agreeing, we decided that it would be fun if I had a look at this story live. So that's what I figured we could do. That's why I'm calling this a new series. This could just be a complete flop. I hope it's not, but I hope you guys are ready for some very interesting storytelling here. I purposefully have not looked at this story. I looked at the tags a second ago and I'm a little worried because it says right here, if I could scroll down a little bit, mature. So I was assured left, right, and center by Corviana that this is a totally okay story to read on stream here. I really need to find someone who can check these things before I read them live. But either way, we're just experimenting today. I thought it would be fun to change it up on you guys a little bit. And this is going to be interesting. We've got action, adventure, creatures. Interesting. Dark fantasy, elemental magic, all about that. Forest, found family, hidden secrets, magic, mysterious, mystery, plot twist, I would hope so. Secrets, survival, teamwork, and thriller. I don't know what we're getting into. This could be an absolute flop. But either way, I hope it's not. I hope you guys subscribe, and I would love to turn this into an ongoing series because a lot of you have sent me at knowing that I've written my own book, which I forgot to turn the light on for. Oh, there it is, American Nexus. Link in the description for that, by the way. Having written my own story, some of you guys have sent me your stories, and I would love to start reading them in front of a live studio audience, so to speak. So we're just going to give this a shot here. I will be pausing throughout just to offer my opinions on things, especially if something comes out of left field. So just be ready for that. I'm going to be honest, this is the first time I've ever used Wattpad, so I'm not entirely sure how to go about this, but let's have a look here. See, there's 3 parts total. I don't know if we're going to read the entire thing. I'm kind of hoping to just give everyone a little teaser, maybe 1 or 2 chapters. Let's just feel it out. How does that sound? Let's just go ahead and get started here, but thank you guys so much, everyone who's tuned in so far. But without further ado, let's get right into this, shall we? Now, where should I put myself? Like right over here, maybe? Right over here sounds about good. Yeah. Let's start here. How does this sound? Let's start here. I'll move a little bit to the side. Let's just get into it. Get yourself nice and comfortable if you can. Maybe pull up actually it's the middle of summer. Don't pull up a blanket, pull up a nice little fan. Just relax and get ready because we're going to experience something unique together for the very first time. Let's go ahead and get started here. And I am not going to have any music because I was told that is very distracting. So let's just get right into this. Okay. I really hope this doesn't. Corviana, I hope that this story is really good. I have all the faith in the world that it will be, but let's just go into it and see what happens. Okay. I assume this is chapter 1. I don't know. Let's just pretend that it is. Chapter 1. The night that changed everything. The night was tranquil, with stars shining like scattered pearls while the wind whispered gently through the oak trees. Ethan, 7 years old, pause. Okay. Off to a rip roaring start already. I just don't. Please do not turn into a FNAF situation. Please do not turn into. Okay, let's just keep going here. Ethan, 7 years old, was a young but sharp minded individual. He was sitting at the dinner table with his family: his uncle Mark, his cousin Karis, his little sister Ellie, and his mother Gloria. Gloria's face was cold and emotionless. She sounds fun. Without any warmth. She seemed distracted, lost in her own thoughts. Ethan didn't know this would be the last night he would spend with his family. At 3 a.m. Okay. Hi, random person here. The way that that's set up, it sounds like this is the last this is the last night Ethan would be with his family at 3 a.m. Maybe let's just keep reading. I'm sure this is going to turn out absolutely fine and everyone's going to be okay and nothing bad is going to happen whatsoever to this 7-year-old child. Let's continue. Silence took over the house. I love that sentence. That's a great sentence. Everyone was in their cozy beds, lost in their own dreams. A sharp sound interrupted the silence, disturbing Ethan's peaceful sleep. He woke up in his bed, holding his blanket tightly as he listened carefully through the walls. Through the walls? Is Ethan a mutant? Ethan's got superpowers over here. I wish I could listen through walls. It sounded like a glass or a plate had shattered violently. The noise grew louder, coming closer, filling Ethan's chest with fear. It was coming from the kitchen. He got out of bed. His bed was next to Ellie's, and he quietly went to check what had happened. So brave for a 7-year-old. Let me tell you something. When I was 7 years old, when I was 7 years old, if I heard a loud noise somewhere, I was staying in the bed. I was not moving. I like Ethan. Ethan is a Chad. I have to be really careful how I say that. Ethan is also a fictional character that does not exist, and as far as I know, will never exist. I think I've covered my bases. Okay. Keeping one hand on the wall, he made his way down the stairs. Every step echoed through the silent house. Then, the noise suddenly stopped. Only a creepy silence remained. Darkness swallowed the house, with only a faint light breaking through the window. There, he saw someone lying on the floor. The figure looked familiar. As he got closer, Ethan's face turned pale. It was his uncle lying on the ground unconscious. His eyes were open, but only empty whiteness could be seen. Ugh. The atmosphere turned quiet. He didn't move. Uncle? His lips trembled as he stared in disbelief. Footsteps approached slowly. Someone emerged from the darkness behind Mark. Only their shadow could be seen. Ethan raised his head. It was his mother, Gloria. Most terrifying thing in the world to see as a kid. Most terrifying thing to see in the world as a kid. You get up, you're somewhere you're not supposed to be, and your mom is there waiting for you. This is a scary story. He's getting Vecna'd. I hope he's not getting Vecna'd. Holy crap, what a turn this would take. It was his mother, Gloria. She was looking at him with calm, cold eyes. You woke up, sweetheart. A cruel smile formed on her lips. Don't like that. She held a weapon, something between a polearm and a sword. She stood perfectly still, not blinking an eye. Brother, what? Brother, what? His eyes were fixed on his mother. His mind refused to process what was happening around him. That's fair. Mom? His chest rose and fell. What are you doing? His eyes reddened as he took a few steps back while she moved forward. When she reached his uncle, she leaned down to check his unconscious body. She let out a low chuckle. Nice. I have all night. Nope. 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 No. Nope. Absolutely not. No. Oh, no. Oh, no. That is not what I want to hear. All right. Let's keep it going. Once she stood up again, lifting her gaze from Mark, there was a table beside them with a rather large flower vase, painted with blue and white patterns. She pushed the vase off the table, making it shatter on the ground. It's a skinwalker. There's not a woman alive that would willingly break a vase without a reason. And we haven't gotten a reason yet, so I'm saying it's a skinwalker. That's what we got. We got a scary story here. Yeah, we're getting into spooky season early, everybody. We're getting into spooky season early. Its noise loud enough to wake the others. Flowers scattered across the floor as water splashed everywhere. Little did he know that she had done it on purpose. Okay. On the second floor, where am I saying this name correctly? Caris's? Where Caris's and the siblings' rooms were, Ellie was still asleep, breathing softly in the warm air. When she heard the crashing sound, her dreams were suddenly cut short. She slowly opened her eyes. When she looked at Ethan's bed, he wasn't there. A strange feeling touched her chest. She got out of bed and opened the door, cautiously leaning her head outside. But she couldn't see anything, only darkness. She took a brave step into the dark hallway, searching for him. She hugged her blanket tightly as her little arms wrapped around her chest. Her heartbeat grew faster. Ethan? Ethan? Where are you? He quickly turned his head. He heard his little sister calling for him. Her footsteps came closer. Holding onto the metal railing, she went down the stairs, one step at a time. Ethan, where are you? I'm scared. She ran toward him, holding her small, soft blanket. As she reached Ethan, she grabbed his arm and pulled it towards her. Brother, come upstairs. Ellie didn't notice her uncle, nor did she notice their mother. All she wanted was to go back to sleep with her brother. Gloria looked at Ellie from the darkness. She slowly raised her weapon. No. Her gaze turned cold for a few seconds. No. Ethan held his breath, staring into his mother's eyes. No. A few seconds passed. Then she threw the weapon close to Ellie. A terrified scream filled the air as her blanket slipped from her hands onto the floor. Ellie hid behind Ethan, clutching his hoodie tightly in her tiny hand. She was trembling. Tears streamed down her reddened cheeks. Brother, Mom scares me. I'm scared. Sorry, I'm not very good at little kid noises. Wow, phrasing. I'm not very good at pretending to voice act for a child. That's not a role I normally take on, but I'm happy to try as we go through this story. Sorry, let's continue. He stood there, his lips slightly parted, the air feeling heavy in his frozen lungs. He didn't know what to do, 'cause he's 7. As their mother came closer, Ethan felt as if death itself was reaching for his soul. How does a 7-year-old know what death feels like? I, What are we undergoing? Oh, we're reading a story that was sent to me. This is one of our viewers here, Corviana _8 or 7, sent in a story that apparently involves peril, and I guess let's continue. Let's see if they get away. And by the way, this is the first time I'm reading the story. Just want to reiterate that. Don't have no idea what's going to happen here. So let's see what happens here. He wrapped one arm around his sister to protect her and grabbed a small knife, pointing it at Gloria. Sheesh, Ethan again, stepping up. Bravest 7-year-old in the world. His hands were shaking. Gloria raised both eyebrows. Your father was right. Your mind is far beyond your age. Ew. Ew, it's a skinwalker. I'm telling you, it's a skinwalker. Yes, random person here. Yes, you can. If you guys want to continue this series, this series will continue. If you guys want me to continue reading your stories, I'm happy to react to your art and read your stories live. It's a lot of fun. I really like doing it. So no worries whatsoever. Let's continue. All he could remember were his father's last words: protect your sister no matter what. What a heavy responsibility to put on a 7-year-old. Holy crap. Hey, buddy, I know you like those Legos and those Hot Wheels you keep playing with, but if your sister ever finds herself in mortal danger, I need you to step up to the plate. You're not wearing diapers anymore, right? Okay, just checking. I need you. I need you to protect your sister no matter what. And remember to go to bed before 7. Okay. Anyway, let's continue here. Protect your sister no matter what. They slowly backed away from her until they reached the corner of the kitchen. My dear children, there is nowhere else to go. No. His pulse quickened as he saw his mother's face, a wide, wicked smile spreading across it. His strength faded away, and the knife slipped from his hand. The knife clanged against the floor. Gloria stopped for a moment, tilting her head. His sister was whimpering. He grabbed his sister's hand and ran away from their mother. He pulled her hand firmly, trying to make her run faster. Gloria slowly turned toward them and started chasing after them. A faint light lit the other part of the house. They left the kitchen, running toward the back door. Behind it was the garden, filled with countless flowers and different kinds of green and colorful plants. Thank you for the details on the garden there. That's important. They hurried through them, touching their fragile faces. They struggled to breathe as they ran farther away. They tried to slow down for a moment, but she was still after them. They kept running until they left the safety of their home, where the forest welcomed them. Once they entered it, they ran between the tall, dark trees, where only a small amount of moonlight passed through, stepping on crunchy leaves and dried branches. After running some distance, they hid behind one of the trees, trying to catch their breath. Ellie sat on the ground, tears falling from her eyes as she cried silently. I would not be crying silently right now. No, absolutely not. I kind of took inspo from MD Season 2 for the prologue of my story. As you should, random person here. Kudos to you for that. As you should. 4-star red flag. I agree. Okay, let's pause for a second here. How is this going so far? Do you guys buy the Skinwalker theory? What do you think? Are we in Skinwalker territory yet? Is their mom just possessed? What do you think? I firmly believe this is either a Skinwalker kind of story or the mom has just been crazy all along. I don't know. Also, again, kudos to these kids for handling things very, very well, considering the absolute distress that they must be in. But let's see here. I think she might be possessed. The mom is weird. Well, I mean, normally you don't. No, normal people don't. This might come as a shock. Normal people don't chase their children with swords. Normal people. Some people might, but yeah, normal people don't do that. So yeah, I appreciate it, guys. I think this is the perfect time. If you're working on something else, listening to this live stream is the perfect thing to do. So kudos to you guys for that. It's giving Mandela catalog. Ooh. Let's see if that's an accurate prediction here. I hope it doesn't go that way, because kids don't really have a good time in the Mandela catalog if you don't know. But let's continue. Ethan swallowed hard, his throat tightening. He took a quick look to check if she was still chasing them. She wasn't there. Their heartbeats slowly returned to normal, and the blood flowed calmly through their arteries. What a visceral description. Ugh. You ever felt your own blood pumping? It's a heck of a feeling. It's a heck of a feeling. Don't say boring people don't chase children with swords, Beck. No, no, we do not condone the chasing of children with sharp objects, okay? It's not character building. Maybe in the context of the story it is, but in real life, no, we don't do that. Okay, back to the story. A gentle, cold breeze blew over them, and the leaves began to fall, joining the dead ones on the ground. Ooh. Their house wasn't in town. It stood on the edge where the town met the forest. The town was too far away, and the forest was their only way out. A strange, terrifying sound came with the wind. Ethan froze. His heartbeat quickened again, and his hands turned cold. His searching eyes looked everywhere, trying to find where the sound was coming from. There was nothing. Only trees surrounded them, with faint fog filling the place. He knelt beside Ellie, wrapping his arms around her. She listened to his accelerated heartbeat, her chest rising and falling rapidly as she hugged him tightly. His eyes didn't rest. He noticed something far away. A black, irregular shape was approaching from their garden. A cold shiver ran down his spine. Uh-oh. He tried to get up quickly, but his legs wouldn't help him. Uh-oh. The sound began to come closer. Uh-oh. Ellie covered her eyes with both hands. Uh-oh. She was terrified of the darkness. Yeah. Ethan immediately pulled her to her feet. Run! He could barely say it. Tears streamed down his face as his eyebrows lifted. Their hearts skipped a beat. She stared at him as they tried to escape. She didn't understand what was happening. Once she turned her head, her eyes widened in fear. She saw an ink-like creature floating in the air then. She tried to scream. Her mouth opened, but her breath was cut off. Only a small, broken whimper escaped her lips. Her body quivered with fear. Her legs tried to give up, but Ethan kept dragging her. He ran toward a place he knew. Long, large trees surrounded them. The atmosphere was heavy with dark blue fog filling the air, making their vision slightly blurred. Ethan wasn't running toward a random place. He had carved a simple pattern into the trees to guide him there. When? Dude, Ethan is MacGyver. Bro is standing on business. Bro just does not care. Yeah, Rutro Raggy. Wow, Ethan don't miss. Ethan don't miss one bit. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you, Ethan is the kind of kid that has like a lunchbox full of like snacks and Twinkies and an extra blanket just tucked away in the forest somewhere. Mark my words, Ethan's going to have like some kind of toolkit or something. It's absolutely, it's going to, that's what it's going to be. I'm predicting that's what it's going to, he is a good brother. I agree. He is a good brother. Let's keep reading here. Ethan's steps were steady, but Ellie was stumbling. Dead, dried branches tripped them as they ran, but he kept moving, gasping for air. Panic drained the blood from their hands. Ooh. The creepy sound gradually began to disappear. When he turned around, nothing was there. Is Ethan 11? Ethan is 7. This is a 7-year-old pulling up like this. This is a 7-year-old kid right here. I cannot believe I was... Okay, Minty, not just you, okay? I was also... Well, I don't want to say I was dumb. I was a 7-year-old. I had my priorities in order. I was going to read Go Dogs Go and Green Eggs and Ham every single day and then spend hours looking at, oh crap, I Spy books. That's what they were called. That's what I was doing at 7. I think Ethan is a main character in Stranger Things, giving off that energy. I mean, he could be. Who knows? They slowed for a moment, trying to catch their breath. He kept Ellie within his arms, protecting her. Come on, sister. I love how they call each other brother and sister. I don't know about you guys. I don't think I've ever referred to a family member as their position in the family, personally. I was eating dirt at 7. I mean, good for you. Good for you, Novat. I don't... Yeah. Oh, Kuru, that is a heck of a sentence. Kuru says, that is one heck of a 7-year old. Oh, don't clip that. For the love, do not clip that, please. Oh, man. Crazy sentence there. Don't say slay. Oh, man. Okay. Let's continue here. What does MacGyver what does Ethan MacGyver himself do in this situation? Come on, sister. He gently tried to pull her forward. Ethan, my chest hurts. She coughed hard. Her throat burned, and every time she tried to take in more air, her body shook. Ethan continued through the forest with shaky hands. He never blinked an eye. His heart never stopped pounding. Everything went still. The creature's sound came back from afar. A chill ran down his spine. Ellie heard the sound and hid her face against Ethan's chest, her tears soaking his little hoodie. How many tears can this poor girl cry? At what point do you get dehydrated? Holy cow. This poor girl is just leaking all over, right out the eyes, everywhere. Oh, this poor kid. I'm scared, she sobbed. Me too, he said in a shaky voice. Me three, said the narrator. The sound grew louder and closer. They ran as fast as they could until they reached a place where the trees disappeared. Long grass and many different kinds of plants filled the area, overlooking a large, wide river. There, Ethan remembered how quiet the place used to be. He used to sit there with his family, enjoying the peace. Bro, now is not the time to reminisce. I'm just saying, Ethan, now is not the time to think back. Prof, water, please. Got you. Right here. Thank you, Emma the Dead Man. Thank you for the, and yeah. Yeah, poor kids is right. I will say though, there is a time and a place for reminiscing. Now is neither the time nor the place. You are being chased by an ink Wendigo for all we know. Holy crap. Let's just continue. I got to see where this goes. There, Ethan remembered how quiet the place used to be. He used to sit there with his family, enjoying the peace. He played with his father and sister. Mark held his daughter, laughing with her. They admired the calm current of the clear, transparent river. Their happy voices echoed in his mind. Now, all that could be heard was the creepy sound of creatures that wanted to end their lives, mixed with their panicked voices. Holy crap. A large wooden bridge stretched across the river. It had been built to withstand the river's strong current. Okay, I figured. On the other side, there were medium-sized trees with ruins scattered among them. Where the heck do these people live that there's ruins in the forest? On the other side, there were medium-sized trees with ruins scattered among them, enough to hide there before the creature caught them. He rushed towards the bridge. His hands felt light and icy. Ellie? There was no response. His eyes filled with fear and horror. Ellie! He shouted, turning back to search for her. The strange sound was getting very close. He hurried, searching for her until he heard her whimper. She was sitting in the grass, not moving. Uh-oh. Her eyes were frozen, and her long, beautiful blonde hair was a mess. I don't think the condition of her hair is as important a detail as her eyes being frozen. Excuse me? Oh shoot. Okay, I just peeked ahead. Whoa. Y'all don't, shut up, Cherry. Y'all don't have ruins in your forest? No! No, as a matter of fact, we don't. Or at least we don't in my neck of the woods. Okay, you guys gotta be joking. There's no way everybody lives around ruins. There's no possible way. Okay, let's keep going here. I think this is where the mature rating comes in here. She was sitting in the grass, not moving. Her eyes were frozen, and her long, beautiful blonde hair was a mess. When he reached her in a hurry, I want to go home. Her eyes were reddened, tears streaming down her cheeks. I miss my daddy. Her face crumpled. Holy crap. He tried to pull her up and run, but her words repeated in his head. Sorrow filled his chest. His vision blurred, his legs gave out, and he fell onto his knees toward her. Wow. Tal for 5. This is so funny, Lamal. I'm not paying attention. I just hear whatever is going on. And I just hear whatever is going on. Tal, this is probably the funniest video I've ever made. Not gonna lie. And it just got, like, really dark really fast. The entity was getting closer with every second they wasted. He couldn't hear his sister's voice anymore. Yeah, maybe on account of the fact that her face has crumbled. I'm sorry? What? What? What do you mean? Like, I'm imagining literally crumbling. Have you ever seen the Dark Crystal? Like when the evil king Gexes guy is like in his bed and he passes away and his body like crumbles to dust. That's what I'm imagining, except with a child. What? What is happening here? Okay. The entity was getting closer with every second they wasted. He couldn't hear his sister's voice anymore. The creature emerged from the dark shadows of the trees. It moved slowly from side to side, but it stopped for a second. Okay. The terrifying sound disappeared. The forest went quiet again. Ethan saw it from afar. He quietly stood up and stepped back. Excuse me. Stepped backward. He held his breath, gently taking his little sister's hand so she wouldn't notice him. So she wouldn't notice them. Wait, is she not dead? Didn't her face just crumple? Am I reading this wrong? I have to be reading this wrong. Yes, Dark Crystal, you know ball. You absolutely know ball. Its eyes. Okay, wait. Her face crumpled. Is this not meant to be literal right here? Is that not meant to be literal? I might have misinterpreted this. I apologize. I have a vivid imagination, so imagining this is not pleasant. You and me both. Like, I think it means crumpled as in her face fell. Okay, Scout, that makes more sense. Okay, let's go with that. That is a lot better than how I was interpreting it. Okay. Okay, probably not literally. Okay, that's good. That's good. We don't want children crumpling to dust. That is good. Let's continue. The creature emerged from the dark. Okay, wait. Where were we? He couldn't move a muscle. Everything went still. It lunged at them rapidly. The sound came back. It echoed through the forest. Ellie screamed, but he couldn't hear her. Tears streamed down his face. Everybody's just got tears going down their face. The air burned his throat every time he tried to breathe. They kept racing forward with their stumbling steps until they reached the bridge. The current was very strong. The water crashed against the wood, soaking it. But the entity reached them. It came down on... Pause. Pastel for 2. Prof. Crumpled Meads cried like falling. Okay, yeah, I know. I understand that. It's just the way it was presented. I mean, it's a spooky story so far. What am I supposed to think? Like, I apologize for misinterpreting it, but let's just keep going here. I'm getting nervous. The water crashed against the wood, soaking it, but the entity reached them. It came down on them, crushing the bridge into small and large pieces. Wood splinters pierced their fragile limbs. What? The river surged violently. They were swept away with the broken wood and ashes. And that's the end of chapter 1. Oh. Well, that was a chapter. That was a chapter. Okay. She be crying again. Yep, they do be crying a lot, but they are children, so I expect that. Okay, thoughts? What are your guys' thoughts so far on this first chapter here? What are your thoughts? I think that Strong start, honestly. I'm in the same boat. I think this was a pretty strong start. I'm noticing some patterns between my first book that I wrote and this. For one, the tears streaming down the face. That's a detail that a lot of new writers use. It's not bad. It's just it's funny that there's consistency here. I liked it overall. I also liked it overall. And yeah, I would cry too. Absolutely, Orca. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. If I was a 7-year-old and I found the lifeless body of my uncle in the bathroom super late at night, and then there was something that kind of looked like my mom that started chasing me with a knife or a sword or whatever it was, a pole arm is what I think was the specific item there. I would have some words. I would have some choice words as a 7-year-old. But how did this chapter end? It ended with the two children not escaping and getting crushed, them and the bridge underneath them getting crushed and sent into the water. Are they dead? What do you guys think? Are they dead at this point? I don't know what to think. AU silence. Yeah, honestly, I get that. I get that. I think the tears were mentioned a bit too much. It was reasonable, but it felt a bit overused. I can see that. I do agree somewhat. I think the formatting is a little weird too. I don't know if you guys noticed, but a couple sentences are like broken up in a weird way. I don't know if I can find a specific uh kind of like this one right here. I don't know if it's just the size of like how it can look. But overall, I'd put it at like a 6 out of 10. They aren't dead main character logic. All right, let's see. Should we continue to the next part? What do you guys think? Should I just leave it here as a teaser and you guys can read it yourselves, or should we continue going here? Because like, I don't know. I don't know. They have plot armor. Maybe the sister died, but Ethan is still alive. Yeah, I'm still thrown off by the crumbling thing. I understand like crumbling to your knees. I understand that expression. That means you're like falling to your knees sort of thing. But it just said crumbling. So I I'm spooked. But yes, continue. Go on. All right, the people have spoken. Let's move on to the next part here. The night that everything changed. The water pulled him away from his sister. He struggled against the current, trying to swim toward her. She couldn't reach him. All she could do was try not to drown. Ethan reached for Ellie's hand, but he failed. Terror tightened his chest. His eyes remained unblinking. Ethan, she shouted, her last words. Uh-oh. A powerful current dragged her away, throwing her toward the other side of the river. He tried to follow her. He used all his strength to save her, but she vanished. Like a leaf carried away by the wind, the river kept carrying her farther away. The entity remained in the same spot where the bridge had collapsed. It disappeared from his sight as the sound grew weaker while the river carried him away. The atmosphere in the forest became calm. Yeah, I call BS on that. Okay. Well, it sounds visually focused, as in things getting described more than feeling and less senses used, but otherwise it's a good start. I would agree, Aharo. A lot of telling and a little bit of showing, but I think honestly it's a really darn good start. I think they should have said her face crumpled in sadness. I think so too. That's a good spot as well. We're not here to edit the story by any means, just offering opinions here. Corviana, if you see this at some point, please don't take offense to any of this. It's all just spur of the moment, just reviewing stuff here. Also, again, really good job for your first story. But yeah, I guess Ellie's gone. So there we go. Ellie is just completely gone at this point. And the entity did not go into the water with them. It somehow saw the children crossing the bridge, smashed the children through the bridge into the water, destroyed the bridge, and is now just floating there in the air above the water. So I don't think it's a skinwalker. I don't think it's a skinwalker. But Let's keep reading. Maybe it'll turn out to be a vampire or something. Or maybe it's just a shadow monster. Who knows? The atmosphere in the forest became calm. Gloria stepped out of the dark shadows of the trees. She hurried after them. Her eyes searched for the children. They weren't there. She clenched her teeth and inhaled sharply. I love how we're still referring to this monster by its like human name. Uh would you be willing to read another one after this, Prof? Depends on if we get through this. I honestly not opposed to it as long as I have permission. That's the key here. I don't want to read something I don't have permission to read. She clenched her teeth and inhaled sharply. Pathetic! I ordered you to kill them, not separate them. Ooh. She struck her weapon against the ground before kneeling on the forest floor. She pulled a large roll of white paper from the long sleeve of her dark green dress. Girl is dolled up to murder children? Really? Who wears a dress to take out a 7-year-old and however old Ellie was? That is whack. That is whack. Wow. All right, let's continue. Gently, she placed it on the grass and unrolled it. A large, smooth brush lay beside it. A brush? She picked it up and began drawing on the paper without any ink. Dang it, I'm out of ink. She glanced to the side and muttered to herself. How should I make another one? She didn't stand there thinking for long. She got to her feet and looked up at the entity floating in the air, waiting for her command. Split and finish them before you vanish. She turned her back on it and walked into the forest, where the darkness swallowed her. The creatures split into 2 halves. One chased Ethan, while the other vanished into the darkness, following his sister. Okay, so she's not gone. She's not anything to keep up appearances? Okay. Okay, guys. Gotta slay every day? Sure. 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 If you're gonna do something, you gotta do it in style. Maybe not ending children. Maybe not that, though. That's kind of heavy. I'm just saying. Let's continue. The one chasing Ethan was more aggressive. I love that. It's a very important detail. Ethan struggled to stay alive in the rushing water. I bet. But the farther the river carried him, the calmer the current became, enough for him to swim toward the riverbank. When he reached it, his clothes were drenched. His body felt weak. He gasped for air, trying to catch his breath. He coughed repeatedly, trying to get the water out of his mouth. A large rock stood ahead with a dark entrance. Climbing plants covered part of it. Climbing plants? What is a climbing plant? I imagine it's like vines or something. It's got to be vines. It was an old cave with many stones around its entrance. He turned his head and saw a black mass approaching him rapidly from afar. He tried to get back on his feet. The entity was closing in on him. He rushed toward the cave. He didn't know it was cursed and would affect him for the rest of his life. Okay, definitely, if you're going to go back and edit this at some point, Corviana, scrap this sentence right here. This is a spoiler. I'm just saying, this is a spoiler that kind of ruins the pace. Yeah, go for it, random person here. Go for it. Yeah, definitely get rid of that sentence, though. He rushed toward the cave. The moment he reached its entrance, the entity hit him in the side just below his chest, making him bleed heavily. Ooh, 7-year-old bleeding heavily? Yeah, they're not going to last very long. He fell to his knees. Every breath came with unbearable pain. He pressed his hand tightly against the wood as blood poured from it. The wound, not the wood, sorry, the wound as blood poured from it. He turned his head toward the creature, his vision blurred. The entity tried to attack him again, but its body had begun to decompose. It became unstable. Drops of ink poured from it, covering the entrance. Once the liquid touched his foot, it vanished from existence. Ethan felt confused for a moment, but he didn't wait to feel safe. He forced himself to stand and hid inside the cave for a little longer. Once he entered, the atmosphere was different. Wasn't he already in the cave? This poor child, I know, the trauma rain is heavy. I can't imagine how traumatic this would be at the age of 7. Yeah, I honestly, the way this character is acting, I don't know if it's possible, but maybe age them up a little bit. Maybe, especially with like the fight or flight response. Most kids don't have that, as far as I know. Yeah, Ethan is built different though. Ethan is MacGyver. I need to constantly remind myself that. Let's see what Mr. Superman, Mr. 7-year-old Superman here does. He continued walking with slow, unsteady steps, but the cave wasn't ordinary. Its rocky walls were covered with carved words and drawings. Large spider webs filled the corner. Uh-oh. Arachnophobia, anyone? It seemed that no one had entered it for a very long time, but he didn't notice. Then why are we... If he didn't notice, why are we talking about it? Is this the same Ethan that fought in Resident Evil Village or what? Possibly. This could be young Ethan from Resident Evil Village. We don't know. We don't know. All he wanted was to sit down and rest for a while. Minutes passed. He kept walking, each step slower than the last. A trail of blood followed behind him. When Ethan stopped for a moment, he supported himself by placing his hand against the cave wall. I'm just imagining this 7-year-old with just the most Arnold Schwarzenegger looking arm, just like boom, almost cracking the wall as he's like holding his side dramatically. He's like already plotting his revenge. He's like, I need to find my sister this summer, something like that. That's what I'm imagining here. Ethan is just like continually impressing me here. All right, let's continue. The farther he walked, the denser the smoke became. Oh, wait. A faint black smoke began to rise from the ground. The farther he walked, the denser the smoke became. Once it became thick enough, it gathered into a single mass. It had twisted limbs with no fixed shape. A single yellow eye appeared, and... Sorry. Ooh, excuse me. A single yellow eye appeared, its iris covered... Please don't give me the hiccups, not right now. Its iris covered in black patterns. Its eye moved, staring at Ethan's innocent soul. And he's got an innocent soul, too. This guy is legit. He froze. He didn't know what to do. He couldn't even run. His legs had given up. He couldn't scream or even move. A bit repetitive, but okay. His eyes were wide, fixed on its yellow eye. He kept one hand pressed against his wound. He is the Arnold. He is the Arnold. This kid is straight out of the movie Predator. Holy cow. He's like holding his wound, bleeding everywhere. 7 years old, just lost his uncle, his mom, and his sister, survived drowning and being body slammed by an ink shadowy monster twice. Dude is the hero. Like, Ethan is he's him. Ethan is him. I was playing with Bionicles when I was 7. Ethan's over here surviving more trauma than most people experience in their entire lives. Good grief. Okay, what does Ethan do? I'm going to laugh my head off. If Ethan sees whatever this thing is, the smoke thing that's in the cave with the yellow eye, I'm going to laugh if Ethan like squares up with it and just starts like beating the crap out of it. Like that is, Let's see. What does Ethan do to this new thing he's discovered in this cave? His eyes were wide, fixed on its yellow eye. He kept one hand pressed against his wound. My man. But the smoke began to rise around him, blocking his vision, slowly climbing up Ethan's weak body like plant roots wrapping around him. Visceral. It began to enter through the wound. Ooh, no. Covering him until he could barely see. He felt something heavy on his eyelids. He gradually felt himself losing consciousness. ... After a brief moment, the weight on his eyes was gone. He could finally open them. He blinked gently as an intense white light fell upon his face. He placed his hand over the wound, but it wasn't there. His body had healed. His clothes were dry and clean. He was inside his consciousness. Does a 7-year-old even know what consciousness is? I don't think Ethan is 7, guys. Like, hello. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think Ethan's like, I think Ethan is a Spec Ops guy. I think Ethan is officially Spec Ops. That's what I believe at this point. Ethan is secretly an undercover Spec Ops agent who has been pretending to be 7 years old this entire time, and his family had no idea, with the express purpose of finding out what Gloria, aka the mom, has been up to. That's what's going on here. Ethan is a Chad. Um, let's see. Ethan is 17. Yeah, I would accept that, but let's continue seeing what this barely not a toddler is doing. He recognizes not only that he is no longer conscious, but that he is within his own consciousness. Let's see what happens. He stood up from the ground with ease and looked around. It was a beautiful, isolated world made only of his emotions. Okay. There were many fields of flowers. The field contained different species and colors, while faint blue and yellow light touched his small, fragile face. I don't think there's a single thing about Ethan that's fragile. I don't think Ethan is fragile whatsoever, guys. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Oh, Cameron, if you do that, please, I would love to. What's happening? Oh, know that. Ethan has entered his own subconscious. That's where we're at in this story. Something smells really good. Okay. Something might be burning. I'm going to go double check that really quick. I apologize. I will be right back. Give me 2 seconds. Just 2 seconds, please. Okay, thank you. We're good. We are good. Nothing is burning. Nothing is burning. It is just stir fry. It's just stir fry. All right, let's continue reading a story about Ethan, the young Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, let's see. Um he stood up. Okay, we read that. The field contained different species and colors, while faint blue and yellow light touched his small, fragile face. It was a calm, peaceful place. Then, the light began to disappear, making the place darker. That's generally what happens when you take away light. It generally gets darker. Um Anyway, a strange feeling tightened his small chest, making his breath catch. Half of the field was destroyed in the blink of an eye. Some plants were completely burned. Some were only half burned, while others turned into black flowers. Okay. Okay. He tried to run toward it, but a twisted black mass tightly grabbed his leg. The more he struggled, the tighter it held him. The dark mass appeared again. It slowly approached him, but this time it spread its limbs wide, as if it wanted to catch him or hurt him. Dun 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 dun! He wanted to move, but he was frozen in place. His pupils dilated, unable to defend himself. He closed his eyes, filled with fear, and took a deep breath. Do you see what I was saying earlier? It's a lot of like taking breaking news, turning off the lights makes the room darker. I agree. You see what I meant earlier about telling rather than showing? It's a lot of and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. The way to get around that is rather than saying but he was frozen in place, you could describe how he couldn't move. You could describe that his head or his legs refused to budge, something like that. It's implied rather than just outright saying it. Prof, if you plan to read more stories in the future, assuming you want us to send them over, how do you want us to? Discord, the community page, or what? If you guys can post it somewhere, whether to Wattpad or whatever, or just put it in a Google Doc, you can share the link with me on Discord or put it in the community page. Either way, I think Google Doc is probably the best way to go about it. But yeah, I'm more than happy to continue doing these kinds of videos on like Fridays maybe, but it's all up to you guys. It's all up to you guys. You guys decide. Um I feel like it's too much and but. That too. It's a lot of and then but and but, which is totally okay. Again, this is the first story this person has ever published, and I'm very proud of them for that. Um, I do not have AO3. No, I do not have AO3, and I don't think I'm ever going to have AO3. I've heard some horror stories about AO3. I've heard horror stories about Wattpad too, but AO3 especially, I don't know if I have the courage to venture over there. Not like Ethan. Ethan over here. Ethan would be like, AO3 who? AO3 who? And then he just like grabs a basketball and dunks it right then and there with his bad hand, with his left hand. He's actually right-handed, but he dunks with his left. And then Ethan gets in his brand new Rolls Royce, which he totally drives as a 7-year-old, and drives all the way down to the local, what's a bougie kind of gym? The local LA Fitness? Should we say LA Fitness? Sure, whatever. The you know, drives down to the local LA Fitness, walks into the yoga class and is like, all right, everybody, you're with me. And everyone just like gets up and follows him out. And then he runs for office and becomes like king of the world somehow. That's Ethan right there. That's Ethan in a nutshell. Yeah. What were we doing again? We were reading a story. Let's keep reading the story. Okay. Headcanons aside. A brief moment passed. A door suddenly appeared within his consciousness. It opened. Chains burst out, wrapping around the entity, and pulled it toward the doorway. I'm noticing a lot of use of the word toward as well. That is another very common thing. Why would I share it to Facebook? That's such a weird thing. The word toward, I will tell you guys, scrap it. Never, ever in your writing, don't use the word just and don't use the word toward. There's always a better way to describe it. But yeah, anyway, it resisted intensely, stretching its limbs toward him, but the chains were too strong. They dragged it inside, then the door closed, sealed shut with chains. That's a very anime end to to a character right there, or a thing. The faint light returned, but it wasn't as bright as before. His leg was freed from the entity. The black flowers returned to their colors, but the field never recovered. It remained destroyed. R.I.P. Field in Ethan's subconscious. Ethan had no clue what had happened. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. I all my books are Google Docs. That's right, Orca, and that's how it should be. That's how it should be. Google Docs is very easy to share with people. So yeah, if we'll say if you guys want to share your story with me, then put it in a Google Doc and share the link and just post it on the community page. I love this line. Ethan had no clue what had happened. He just stood there for a few seconds, trying to understand what was happening around him. Him. A voice, him is twice, by the way. That's not me stuttering for once. There's two hymns there. A voice echoed through the place. At first, he could barely recognize it, but with each repetition, it became more distinct. It was calling his name. Ethan! Ethan! He turned his head left and right, searching for the source of the voice. Ethan, wake up! He knew that voice. It was very familiar. Not just familiar, very familiar. Ethan! Uncle? He said hopefully. The place began to blur. Once he glanced at his hands, he became like a ghost and disappeared from it. He returned to reality, slowly opening his eyes. His whole body felt exhausted. It was his Uncle Mark who woke him up. Ethan was wrapped in his big, tough arms. Whoa! Whoa! Easy there, Corviana. Okay. Mark's a bit of a beefcake. That's Uncle Mark. Okay, hold on. I just had an amazing thought. Guys, this is my new headcanon. The Mark in this story. It's not just some guy. This is Mark Wahlberg. This is Mark Wahlberg. Marky Mark, as he was once known. Not just any Mark Wahlberg either. This is specifically Mark Wahlberg from that movie where plants try and take over the world. You guys know what I'm talking about? The what? No. That movie. It's that this is Marky Mark from that world, okay? That is how I will be imagining him going forward. And that's how I'm going to try and sound um with this story going forward here. I thought you were going to say Markiplier. Ooh, I could do Markiplier actually. I feel like Marky Mark is funnier though. Let's do Marky Mark instead for now. Oh, I'm glad. Oh, how does Marky Mark sound? I'm glad you're alive. I'm just glad you're alive, you know? I'm from Brooklyn, man. If I'd been on the plane when 9/11 happened, I would have saved everybody. That is an actual Mark Wahlberg quote, by the way. That is real. Um, no, it's Markiplier. Do you guys want me to do Markiplier? I can do Markiplier instead. I feel like that's gonna be. Let's make it Markiplier. How about that? We'll do that since you guys really want it. We'll say it's Markiplier. Okay. I'm glad you're alive. How does Markiplier sound? Good day, everybody. My name is Markiplier, and I'm glad you're alive. I'm glad. I can't do his high pitched voice. I cannot do Mark very well. I'm glad you're alive. Was that the hallucination of 87? Was that the hallucinate? Did you enter your own subconscious? Ethan, did you enter your own subconscious? Holy cow! Have you seen? Did you know I directed a movie? Did you know I directed a movie, Ethan? I directed a movie, Ethan. It's called Iron Lung. It's amazing. That was an awesome voice crack. Did you guys hear that? I'm glad you're alive. It's not just any Markiplier voice we're gonna do. It's gonna be as over the top as possible. I hope you guys realize that. um, I'm glad you're alive, Mark. Mark said. Mark was kneeling on the ground. He immediately pulled Ethan against his chest and rested one hand on his small head. Ethan felt safe for a moment, but the feeling didn't last. Once he returned from the depths of his mind, something was missing. Something he once had, but had lost. He couldn't feel things the same way anymore. What does that mean? Mark stood up and asked, "Where are the others, Ethan?" I'm sorry. Coriana, I'm so sorry. I'm trying. This idea is too good. This is too good not to do at this point. I am sorry. I gotta keep this bit up. It's too good. Where are the others, Ethan? Ethan could barely answer. Ellie's gone. I couldn't even warn Karis. Mother was chasing us. Mark looked away from Ethan's eyes. He walked through the forest, the same place where they had been chased. Ethan held Mark's shirt tightly, his eyes searching the surroundings for any danger. Calm down. There's no need to be afraid. Ethan raised his head toward the sky. It was clear, filled with stars. He was confused. Countless questions crowded his mind. What happened? How did my uncle save me? Does he know about the spirit? Or was it just a coincidence? Ents, he thought. That's how it's written right here. You can see it. I'm glad you guys are enjoying I'm glad you guys are enjoying this. I just made a sound that Magic says I just made a sound that sounded like a smoke alarm. Wow. How are you so skilled at impersonating him? Thank you. I don't think I am. I really don't. Does he know about the bite of 87? Does he know about the hallucination of 26? That is my favorite quote so far. He placed his hand on his wrist. The wound had healed. Mark, did you heal me? He asked curiously. No, I didn't. I found you like that. He lowered his head. Mark was carrying him as they walked back toward their home. I wouldn't go back there. Are you kidding me? I would not go back there. I'm going to be honest. I hear less Markiplier and more Scooby-Doo. Wow. Honestly, I can't tell which is better. Scooby-Doo might be even better for Mark. I hope we get more Mark lines here. A gentle breeze passed by, making the dried leaves fall from the trees, drifting through the air before settling on the ground. Once they reached their house, it was destroyed. Oh no! Insurance! Only ruins and rubble remained. The garden, filled with many beautiful species of flowers and plants, was burned to ashes. Their home, where they had played, relaxed, and slept with sweet dreams, had now turned into fallen walls, shattered glass, and debris. There, in the distance, a sports car was parked. I'm getting whiplash. I am getting whiplash right now. What? It wasn't luxurious, but it had a powerful engine and only 2 seats. Mark opened the door and placed Ethan in the passenger seat. He then walked toward the rubble, moving aside some of the fallen walls. Oh my gosh, Mark is a beast. He's pulling walls around like it's nothing. Okay, minutes passed. Minutes? Mark returned carrying a box full of documents and many valuable belongings. He placed it next to Ethan. Here, Mark. Or not Mark. What would Mark say? Here, Ethan, would you hold this for me, please? I'm so bad at that. Okay. He sat in the driver's seat, twisted the key, and the engine roared to life. I don't want to leave this place, Ethan said sadly. Why the heck not? What do you mean you don't want to leave this place? There's no place left. The house is gone. Everyone is dead. Except Mark, apparently. Wait, now that I'm thinking about it, no wonder Ethan is such a Chad. I mean, he's got Mark over here moving entire walls around like he's the Incredible Hulk. Holy cow, the blood ocean really gave him that radiation strength? I guess. What is even happening here? I don't even know anymore. Let's keep going. Let's keep reading. I don't want to leave this place, Ethan said sadly. Mark's hands froze for a second. He looked at him. His eyes softened. I won't leave it. I'll find you a new home in the same place. Don't worry, little one, he said gently. A small smile appeared on Ethan's face. Bro, you got nothing to smile about. You got nothing to smile about right now. A small smile appeared on Ethan's face, but it didn't last long. So much had happened, and all too fast. His mind refused to accept the truth. Oh, and how about that? How about that? We got an awesome art piece here to close it off. How about that? That looks great. I'm animating this. It's too funny. Do it, Pastel. Do it. I cannot wait. Do it. This looks really cool, though. I wonder if this... I have to know. Corviana, if you see this at some point, will you go into the comments of this stream and tell me, did the image come first and then the story afterward? Or was it the story and the image at the same time, or like one after the other? Just let me know down below, because if it would be really cool. In my head, it makes sense that you drew this and then you made the story around it. That would be really, really cool. This art is absolute peak, though. Yeah, I love this. Also, well done on, I assume this is Ethan right here. Ethan, Chadosaurus Rex. Oh, and that's it right there. All right. That's the first 2 chapters, everybody. Cool. All right. Well, let's do a review here. Let's do a quick review of the story as it stands right now. Let me pull up a picture for everyone so you know what I'm talking about, especially those of you who maybe are just joining us. So, this is the book right here. Hopefully you guys can see it. Forest of Arcana. I assume that's how you say that. Forest of Arcana. So, overall thoughts. I would say this is an interesting story. Above all else, this is very, very interesting. The characters are kind of fleshed out. I do think that there's a lot of, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of telling rather than showing, but overall, I don't know if it was meant to be a really creepy story, but I'm definitely getting more like dark arts kind of magic, cursed story vibes instead of a straight up fantasy. But I mean, Ethan is amazing. Mark is just legendary. You can't beat Mark. And poor Ellie. Ellie did not crumble to dust. And Gloria is a monster, apparently. We have no reason to believe that that wasn't their actual mom. And yeah, the cover is also very, very cool. Huge shout out to Corviana _ 8 or 7 for sharing the first couple chapters of their story. You guys can read more on their Wattpad account. Corviana _ 8 or 7. I believe I put it in the description, so feel free to check it out. Excellent job though. For your first outing, I think you're off to a banger of a start. Very, very good. Yeah, I would say my favorite part has to be when when Ethan not only recognizes that he's in his own subconscious, but also that things are very, very wrong. That was probably my favorite part. Ethan has got to be the most conscious, self-aware 7-year-old I've ever heard of. But yeah, AU Silence says it's a good story, really good for a first story. There's a lot of repetitions, cool concept, cool universe. I like the idea of ink monsters. I do as well. I do think the image is kind of funny of their mom being a kind of shadow monster and then just walking into the forest and just being in this beautiful green dress. And she's just like, so what are we doing next? That kind of story. Yeah, the pacing could probably use a little bit of work, but I think it's really good. The live is not ending. No, we're just doing a final review of this story. But overall, as it stands right now, I'm happy to revisit this story in the future. Forest of Arcana, I would put at a solid... Let's put it at like a 6 out of 10. I'll put it at a solid 6 out of 10 for the start. It definitely had me hooked. That first chapter is pretty strong. It got me hooked. So, yeah, excellent job. Round of applause for Corviana _ 8er. So well done there. And with that, I think we're going to go ahead and change gears a little bit here. I'm going to pull up... Somebody said they sent me a story on Discord. A couple people have sent me their stories, but I don't want to read anything unless I'm given permission to do so. So we'll go ahead and keep going here. Let me just check everything. Okay, nothing there. Yes, Novat, you can send me some stories. Whoa. Scout, I'm looking forward to that. I'm checking Discord right now. Tal. Okay, Tal sent us a story. The Monsters We Are, Chapter 1. Let me go ahead and open this up real quick. Oh, it's on AO3. Wow. Interesting work. By checking this box, you consent to the processing of your personal data in the U.S. and other jurisdictions in connection with our provisions of AO3 and its related services to you. You acknowledge that the data privacy laws of such jurisdictions may differ from those provided in your jurisdiction. Okay, I'm not reading this. If you can send it any way other than AO3, I don't particularly... Okay, good. There's a Google Doc. Thank you, Tal. Thank you. I am a viewer. Request access. Okay. I will get an access denied. Okay, cool. I want to send mine, but I'm not done. Well, consider this, everybody. If you want me, let's say this. If you want me to react to your story and read it live like this, I would be happy to do so. I just need your permission, obviously. And do understand that I might do something similar to what, oh, wait, I think I just got an email. There we go. Open. Here we go. The Monsters We Are. Okay. Very, very cool. Glossary. There's... Okay, let me show you guys what I'm looking at. Let this be motivation for you guys. Let this be motivation. I'm reading these stories because I want to not only shine a light on your guys' writing abilities, but I also want to encourage you to finish your stories. because a lot of people start something and never finish it. This is a different kind of stream, Drone. Just trying something out here, seeing if people have fun with it. I'm having a blast. I don't know about everybody else. I'm having an absolute blast here. But let's have a look here. The Monsters We Are, a tease fanfic. Let's see here. Where does the story start? We got a cool map here of Japan. Very interesting. Very, very cool. I assume this is like a character index right here. Interesting. And here we go. Chapter 1. Okay, so this is by our very own Tal XCE, The Monsters We Are. Let's go ahead. It's not finished yet. Well, let this be motivation to get you to finish it. You know what? I'm just going to make a bunch of 3-panel comics and make it into a story somehow. Do it. Do it and you're cool. Yeah, but guys, I'll have to come up with a new Google Doc or something that you can send your stories to. I'll see what I can do with that. But yeah, let's continue here. Chapter 1. Darkness. Darkness was all he saw. A blank numbness was all he felt. Time crawled at a snail's pace here. All he could do was wait. Wait for what? He wasn't sure exactly. Suddenly, he felt his body being pulled. Flying through the darkness toward a pinprick of light in the distance, a blinding light flooded his vision as his eyes slowly opened. He immediately slammed them shut again. The light felt like it burned a hole through his eye sockets. Ooh. He stilled, a grim feeling settling in his chest. A rustle of wind, the tree branches settling around him. A far-off animal moved steadily through the brush. He reached his hand down slowly, trying to feel around his surroundings. The ground beneath him felt sturdy and slightly wet. Wait, wet? His eyes flew open, adjusting to the light that beamed through the above canopy. Dense forest surrounded him as he was leaned up against a tree stump. He could feel it now. The ache in his limbs, and especially his back, as he straightened his spine and heard it. And as he straightened his spine, he heard and felt the cracks and pops that suggested he had been stationary for quite some time. He rolled out the rest of his limbs, slightly massaging at his shoulders as he did so. His head was fuzzy. As he racked his brain, he slowly and carefully stood up. Then it hit him. His name. His name is Park. Oh, don't do this to me. Don't make me try and say names like this. Okay. Park Seonghwa. Did I say it right? Park Seonghwa. And he was dead. Whoa. His name is Park Seonghwa, and he was dead. Dang. Now that's how you do a hook right there. That is how you do a hook right there. Okay, let's continue. Or at least he was supposed to be. It was still fuzzy, like a Polaroid that had been left in the sun too long. He saw red and blackness and ... He suddenly snapped his head down. His arm! It was supposed to be gone, but there it was, his left arm. It was fully intact. He lifted it and clenched his fists, and it was fine. His biceps flexed. He was tanner than he remembered, but that was to be expected after spending who knows how long under the blazing sun. Is my boy like admiring himself right now? What? Wait, he looked at his body only to find Okay. What kind of story am I reading right now? What kind of story is this, Tal? Like, what do you mean? We got the character here. Oh, my arm's back. Dang, nice muscles. Oh, dang, I am tan. Oh, dang, I'm not wearing any clothes. That is basically, don't say me when. Don't, Pastel, don't say me when. We're What kind of story am I reading right now? Considering the small holes near the bottom of them and how faded blue they were. Except for, oh, okay, let me read it through. Wait, he looked at his body only to find he was naked except some pitiful shorts that clearly have been well loved. Um, he he looked at his body only to find he was naked except some pitiful shorts that clearly have been well loved. Considering the small holes near the bottom of them and how faded blue they were. Excuse me. Phrasing. Well loved is it's well, Tal, don't take offense. Just remember, you know what to focus on now. You know what to focus on for the next part. Uh Interesting wording. That's a great way. That's how I would put it. It's interesting wording here. Interesting wording. Excellent job, Tal. We're not laughing at you. No one here is laughing. It's just you know what to focus on now. If something catches my attention over the course of this stream, you know where to focus. See? We're here to help you. That's all it is, Tal. We're just here to help. Sometimes hearing something said out loud will shine a light on things that otherwise you wouldn't notice. That's definitely how I felt when I was doing the audiobook for my story. Trust me, there's so many mistakes in my writing, but you should still listen to it, guys. The playlist is here. You can experience the entire book for free here on YouTube. Let's continue with this story though. Crack. Siongwa. Oh my gosh, is his name Siongwa? Park Siongwa. So I'm gonna have to call him Siongwa for the rest of the rest of the story. Wow. All right, I'm gonna do my best. Siongwa whipped around to face the darkness of the woods behind him. Again with the woods. There he saw them, a pair of glowing red eyes, red this time instead of yellow. His blood ran cold and he froze, his joints locking as he stared directly at it. Hey, hey, don't be scared. I'm not gonna hurt you. The voice was soft yet rich, a deep honey-like tone. Oh, a honey-like tone, you say? It was human, or what he assumed was human. Except this human had piercing red eyes, two sets of them with scaleras so dark they looked like black pits and cat-like slit pupils. They had dark brown hair that reached just past their shoulders and bangs that framed their soft face. Oh, soft face? I'm liking this character more and more. Their skin was a pale white with lips tinted a slight blue. Oh, that's not good. As they stepped forward, Siongwa noticed. They had a kimono on? Okay, we're back into it, everybody. We're back in. I'm back on board. The blue lips kind of threw me off for a second there because normally corpses have blue lips. But hey, kimono, I'm back on board here. Let's see what we got. It was beautiful, deep red with a slight crane pattern that crossed their right side and coiled down their long sleeves. He saw it then. An extra pair of arms sprouted from their waist. Nope, I'm out. I'm out. I'm off board. I'm sorry. Can't do it. Nope. 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 Absolutely not. I was there. I was on board with this character. I was there. I was in it. I knew what I was so here. I was so here for it. I was invested, and now you got extra limbs, and it's like sorry, that's a no for me, dog. I'm hitting the red button. I'm sorry. I'm hitting it. I'm nope. Hitting the red button. I'm out. Sorry. Pass. On to the next one. Siongwa felt his eyes widen at the sight of them, and he slowly stumbled backwards until he hit a tree. The hard wood was cold against his back. He must have looked insane. He looked insane? He must have looked insane? What do you mean? What do you mean he looks insane? I think the four-armed kimono-wearing chick with blue lips is the insane one here. Personally. That's just me. Okay. They stopped a couple feet before him and spoke again. Oh, what did they say earlier? He had a honey. This character has a honey-like voice. Okay. Do we know the gender of this character yet? It's a guy. Is it a guy? I don't know. It's the Spider Boy. Oh, it's a guy. Oh, yeah. Yeah. What I said earlier stands. I'm out. Sorry. I'm not going to hurt you. My name. That means I can do this voice. I don't have to try and fake a high pitched voice for this one. I can, This is a guy. That would have been nice to know a little bit earlier on, Tal. I'm just saying. I'm not gonna hurt you. My name is... What the heck are these names? Sorry, my USA is showing. Alimane Yuri. What's yours? Seongwa could feel a dull ache in his lungs. Had he been holding his breath? He let the air leave his lungs with a labored sigh. After a few seconds of staring at the mysterious stranger, he cracked out. Phrasing. He cracked out. Seongwa, Park Seongwa. All right, Park-san. They repeated. Wait, San? When did he get to Japan? Why was he in Japan? 1,000 questions flowed into his already pounding skull. What happened? The question felt foreign on his lips. Yuri paused. He sighed a beat too long. Well, I resurrected you. All of Seongwa's breath left his lungs. It felt like he was punched in the gut. Dread slowly crept under his skin, slowly eating at him as he sank down, flesh hitting soft, wet forest floor. So he had died. He didn't think he actually did. Maybe this was all just a dream. But if what this person said it was true, then... ... The realization made his stomach drop. It's complicated, Park-san. There it was again. His surname felt wrong coming from the stranger's mouth. Seongwa. Just call me Seongwa. He clenched his teeth, every word coming out more hostile than he meant for it to. Yuri almost instinctually shrunk, his tall, curious stature becoming small and meek. I apologize, Seongwa-san. Seongwa looked up and caught the strange being's eyes. It was only a couple seconds the two strangers stared at each other, but it felt like an eternity. Yuri's impossibly large eyes captivated Seongwa. He looked like a lost puppy standing there. It pulled at something deep in Seongwa. And suddenly, Seongwa was hit with a terrible throbbing pain that made him double over. His eyes, the pain was throbbing from his eyes. Phrasing. Oh, go for it, Cameron. Go for it. Phrasing. Okay. Throbbing from his eyes. That is a crazy sentence. It was both coming from the cavity behind and the actual eyeball itself. Ew! Seongwa looked up at Yuri as if searching his face for a reason. Yuri looked displeased at the sight of him in pain, but not alarmed. Yuri stepped closer, one cautious step at a time until they were in front of Seongwa. The pain should go away soon. He bent down to get eye level with Seongwa. Yuri looked at Seongwa with sympathy in his eyes. A single question crossed Siangwa's painfully blank mind as he looked into the eyes of his savior. Why did he save me? It was a few moments before the pain started to lessen to only a dull ache in his skull, but it felt like an eternity. Siangwa had clenched his eyes shut from the pain ages ago now. His eyes now rested closed. He took his time regaining his composure. Siangwa peeled open his eyes again, only to see Yuri crouched in front of him, eyes raking over his face. Siangwa jumped. Had he been staring at him this whole time? How long had it been? Siangwa cleared his throat and glanced around. The mid-afternoon sun had set behind some clouds, leaving only a dark forest in front of him. Before Siangwa could ask, Yuri answered his question. "You've been sitting here for almost 3 hours." His voice felt strangely calming. A tiny, almost primal part of Siangwa wanted nothing more than to cuddle up. Whoa, hold on. Pause. Everybody. Pause. His voice felt strangely calming. A tiny, almost primal part of Siangwa wanted nothing more than to cuddle into the stranger and drift off into sleep. Wait, what? He was sure he never felt like this before he closed his eyes. What changed? Well, Siangwa, I think what changed is you're into four-armed spider people. I think that's what changed here. All I can say is I get it. Okay. Yuri pushed off their heels and stood up. How did he never notice how tall they were before? He silently turned and motioned to Siangwa to follow him. Siangwa stumbled to his feet with the grace of a newborn fawn. If Yuri noticed his uneasiness, he didn't show it, and started walking into the dark abyss that was the forest. Siangwa followed him. It was close enough so that he didn't stray from the path, but far enough that he could trip and not take them down with him. As they walked, Siangwa saw the forest morph into a web of 2 close branches and 2 wet ground. He had to catch himself multiple times so that he didn't land on his face. Been there, done that, man. I get that. I feel that. I really do. Siangwa didn't know how long it had been. The forest had long since turned into a dark abyss. He had to actively look at his feet to stop himself from tripping over his own feet. It was humiliating, to say the least. Yuri had stayed silent while they were walking. Their broad shoulders blocked most of Siangwa's view of the forest ahead. He was slightly unnerved, but also strangely he felt protected? Maybe protected isn't the right word. As Siangwa was lost in thought, he didn't notice the space between him and his savior, getting smaller and smaller until he was practically stepping on their heels as they walked. They halted suddenly. Siangwa had to skid to a stop so that he didn't run into them. Looney Tunes-esque moment there. Yuri turned, looking him in the eyes. He looked to be searching for the words he wanted to say. "We are going to be going through a barrier now. It will feel strange and disorienting. Please do not freak out. Stay close and close your eyes." Oh my gosh, the raw energy coming off of this Yuri guy. This guy, I'm telling you, this is the kind of guy that walks into a pizza shop and everybody knows exactly what he's going to order. Interpret that as you will. My goodness. Tal, I am sorry. I am sorry if this is not how you wanted this story to be interpreted. This is just how I'm having fun. I'm having a good time here. It's a good story. That's how you know. If I'm having fun with your story, it's a good story. Okay? It's the same with the art, guys. If I'm having fun, I consider the art to be good. This right here, I agree, Aharo. This is great. I like this. This is fun. Where will it go? Guys, what do you think? Is this story going to end in the spider guy getting a date? What do you think? And by date, I mean those little fruit things that are very, very delicious and crazy expensive for some reason. He's supposed to be this kind of ethereal being, Lamau. Well, I'll tell you something. The only ethereal thing about Yuri that I'm getting so far is that Yuri's choice of words. My goodness, man. I am straighter than a board. I will tell you guys, right? You already know this. I am straighter than a board. But I gotta say, if I met Yuri and I found out that bro is not only resurrected me, but he's protecting me now. All I'm saying is he's talking to me like this. He's like, stay close and ... close your eyes. I'm going to be like, why, Yuri? Yuri. Yuri. Oh, man. Whatever you say, dude. Anything for you, brother. Anything for you, Yuri. Just please don't leave me. Anyway, let's continue with the story here, because it's a good story. Siangwa's face twisted at the thought of losing access to one of his senses for that long of a time with a stranger he didn't know. He knew he couldn't see in the forest behind and ahead of him, but at least he had the feeling of control. He liked having control over himself, his image, his body. ... Tal, do you see where I'm coming from here? Brother, I know it's not Yuri. I know it's definitely not smut. I know that for a fact. I know. It wasn't supposed to be romantic, but I'm glad you like it. There you go. That's all that matters, man. Tal, that is the beautiful thing about writing and doing art, which a lot of you guys probably already know. Intent doesn't really matter. Perception is everything. Close your eyes, Duske. Okay, Magic. Okay. Oh, man. I'm currently trying to write / finish my own stories at the moment. Emo girl, you are in the right place for that. Prof, you are so scared about everything. I'm not trying to be scared. I'm not scared. This is fun. It's supposed to be a trauma thing. Ugh. Well, again, Tal, now that we're reading this, now that we're all reacting to it, we're experiencing this story and these characters together. Now you understand maybe where the dialogue could be tweaked a little bit. In my mind, this is just my opinion, by the way. Feel free to completely disregard all of this. In my mind, when I think of an ethereal being, I think of somebody like Gandalf the Grey from Lord of the Rings. Gandalf the Grey is somewhat ethereal, but he's human enough where he can still interact with the other characters. Yuri feels like somebody that's up to something. And maybe that was the intent. Let's keep reading here. Let's see what else we've got here. Giving it up felt foreign, and even the thought of it gave him a sharp pang in his chest. Yuri seemed to recognize the expression, and he wordlessly held out his hand to Siangwa. You don't have to be afraid. It'll only be a few seconds, I swear. Pinky promise? Oh my gosh, man. Oh my gosh, man. Do you guys, am I crazy? Am I crazy right now? Am I crazy right now? How did you, bro, you cannot describe Tal. You can't describe like the first thing that Siangwa says, like when he regains consciousness. You can't be like he noticed his body and how buff he was and how tan his skin was. And then this Yuri guy is wearing this very beautiful clothing and and says, you don't have to be afraid. It'll only be a few seconds, I swear. ... Pinky promise? Brother. I understand the intent. I'm telling you, perception is everything. This feels like it's gonna end. Did you guys hear my dog? My dog just howled. My guy, I know this wasn't your intent, and I'm not making fun of your writing. I promise I'm not making fun of your writing. I'm just saying the way it's coming off here as I'm reading all of this. I'm getting different vibes from what you're telling me in the chat. That's all I'm saying. Like and like this comment right here, or this line especially, he liked having control over himself, his image, his body. Giving it up felt foreign, and even the thought of it gave him a sharp pang in his chest. Again, I understand this is supposed to be like traumatic, but I I'm just telling you how it's coming off, man. Just remember, Tal, just remember, you volunteered for this. Anything and everything I say, it comes about because you specifically wanted me to read this story. Can we see the pups? Maybe not right now. He's kind of guarding the front, but maybe in the future. Maybe in the future for sure. I've tried in the past, but I can't keep up with drawing comics. The ADHD is strong. This is true. You just need to guide your ADHD in a different direction. Um, when you say it like that, okay, you understand where I'm coming from here. You understand, like, I'm just telling you what I'm seeing, man. Again, I'm so grateful that you shared this story with me. Ooh, excuse me. I'm having the time of my life. I love this story. I think this is great. And you, obviously, if nothing else, you're getting like a different perspective on your writing because it's hard. It's really hard for anyone who's ever written a story before, long or short or something astronomically big. When you write something, it's just you. It's you are there. You're in your own head, in your own world, trying to get from point A to point B and make sure everything pays off. And sometimes things don't come off the way we want them to. And that's why stuff like this is really, really important. But again, I just want to publicly and completely honestly thank Tal again for sending me this story because I love this. This is great. I'm having a blast with this. Guys, send me your stories if you can. I would be very happy to read them as long as they're not like just don't be explicit and don't be don't be like political. That's all I ask. If you can avoid being explicit and political, I'll try and have a look at it. Okay. Siangua looked at his hand bewildered. Did they think he was a child? Did they think he's a child? He scoffed before taking his pinky and interlocking it with Yuri's. Yuri looked at Siangua with the joy of a puppy that just got a treat. Siangua snorted at this. It was weird seeing this big, strong, mystical being look so much like a dog. Wow. Wow. Guys, I think this is a 10 out of 10. I really do. This is easily a 10 out of 10 story. If I do say so myself. I think we're going to save the rest of this for later. Tal, I think you have some stuff you can work on with this. Like just like the previous story, I'm more than happy to come back and revisit this. But for now, I enjoyed it. 10 out of 10 story. I love the characters. I love the world you're setting up here. And you mentioned that this is a fanfic. I'm going to be totally honest. This is the highest praise I can give you. I did not get the impression that this is a fanfic. This feels like its own unique thing. Like these feel like their own unique original characters. I can visualize them perfectly. I know exactly how they look. I know the world that they're in right now. It just all of this makes sense. And I think that's why the physical descriptions, I think that's why I find those so funny. Because this is a great story. But Tal, again, great work. Great work, man. I love this. But like I said, we're going to go ahead and leave this one here for now. I want to revisit it though. Tal, please keep me in the loop. Keep me in the loop if you don't mind. We got a couple other stories I think you guys have sent me, which I'm happy to have a look at. As with all of these, I have not looked at any of them beforehand. Let's see. From Simon Creates. Here we go. We got a Google Doc here. Is it going to give me permission? Yes. Immediately. I love that. Okay. This is from our own Simon. This is Star Steeds. Got a little bit of a pronunciation thing there. Interesting. Oh, this is not very long. All right. Well, let's get right into it. Let's see what our own Simon Creates has sent us today. All right. Let's check it out. Okay. Ica. Eco and Ica. Okay, this honestly feels more like a script for a play or something, just the way it's formatted. I'm not that big on formatting. I'll tell you guys right now, I will read it. You put it in front of me, I will read it. But yeah, this is kind of cool. I would love to see if anybody has a script or a screenplay for something that you're doing. I would love to have a look at that too. But let's take a look at Simon's story. Okay. Wakey, wakey, I'd let you sleep long enough, but I want to say happy birthday to my beautiful granddaughter now. A relatively short, older Japanese man knocked loudly on the door to Aika's bedroom, which had been opened. The girl groaned and buried her head more into her pillow, kicking the blanket off her in expiration? Exapparation? I know what that word means. I'm just not sure how to say it. I agree, Phoenix. Everyone here is really creative. Gramps, it's too Earl, the orange-haired girl complained. Hey, orange hair, I'm all about that. Before being interrupted, I should clarify. Anna Sophia from American Nexus has orange hair. And that's really it. That's all. I think orange-haired characters don't get enough love. I'm looking at you, Samwise Gamgee. But anyway, before being interrupted by her phone going off, a line of music saying something about a heart opening other minds, stories to be told, and how victory relies on one person belting out. Aika groaned as she hit her alarm off, rolling to sit on the edge of her bed, shoving her golden round glasses onto her nose before opening her light steel eyes. Light steel eyes? Like literally steel eyes? Is this girl a robot? If this girl's a robot, this immediately this is an 11 out of 10 story. I'm all about those robots. When are we going to start seeing some murder drone stories? How about that, guys? Wouldn't that be cool to see? Haven't I told you to go to sleep earlier? What were you doing up that you didn't get home until 1 a.m.? Aiko, the older man, shook his gray head, stepping over to the bed where Aiko was yawning and stretching, her hair a tangled mess, the hair tie that had been there tangled in her hair. Aiko shook her head, rubbing an eye under her glasses with the heel of her palm. Storm invited me to go skating with him last night since he had to lock up. It was nice being out for New Year's Eve without having to deal with all the drunks. For a small town, there is a lot of bars. Her alto voice mumbled as she tried to shake off the last of the sleepiness, to no avail as Aiko chuckled, sitting next to her on the bed. Good exposition. Good exposition. Very interesting story. Just descriptive. Oh, okay, so she doesn't have actual steel eyes. That's like the color. Okay, thank you. That makes sense. I ascertain the young man then remembered to wish you a happy birthday as he dropped you off. He always was such a gentleman. Aiko hummed softly, setting down the little box he had in his hand to start helping the sleepy girl untangle the hair tie from her hair. A shame he hadn't stopped by in a while. A shame he hasn't stopped by in a while. Okay, so Simon, quick feedback on this. There's a lot of exposition being dropped right now, and I understand it's a book. You have to do exposition at some point. If I can offer any advice, I would say try and make it a little bit more natural. Think about the way that you talk to the people around you. Is this the kind of thing that one person says to another? Does that make sense? I ascertain the young man then remembered to wish you a happy birthday as he dropped you off. He always was such a gentleman. If I was communicating this information to you, for example, I don't know if I would phrase it like that. I would say something more along the lines of, "Did he wish you a happy birthday?" Like a gentleman. Something like that. You see the difference between those? One of them is a lot of information all at once, and the other is it's like a little bit more natural. That being said, dialogue is the hardest part of writing. Easily. I don't care what anybody else on the planet says. Dialogue is the hardest part of writing any book, any story, anywhere in the world. It is it is hard. Just imagine a grandfather saying that though. Well, let's do that. Let's workshop that a little bit. What would a grandpa say? Did that young man wish you a happy birthday before saying goodbye? Pretty sure I thought he was a gentleman. Something along those lines, Just like a little more natural, something like that. Um Again, full credit where credit's due. The dialogue, it's not bad. I'm not criticizing the work whatsoever. I'm just offering a little bit of feedback here. Uh yeah, again, it's hard. There is a middle ground between doing like a big exposition dump, which is not what this is. This is not a big exposition dump. But there is a fine line between um doing a bunch of exposition and not explaining enough. And finding that middle ground is the hardest part. But luckily for you, the best way to find out what the middle ground is to say your dialogue, say what the characters are saying out loud, and just hear how it sounds. That's what I do with my stories. But again, not bad, not bad. I'm interested to learn more about this young man, Storm. Is that what his name was? Yeah, Storm. Interesting name for a character. Aika yawned again and sleepily pushed her fussing grandfather's hands away, finishing getting out the hair tie. We're adults now, Gramps. We've gotten busy with our own things. I mean, I am 20 now, she hums, finally managing to blink herself awake more to look at the alarm, startled that it was 9:30. Oh crap, Gramps, why aren't you running the shop? Don't you remember how many people stop in on the first of the year to make sure their clocks are on time? The resolution of I will be on time? The old man chuckled again, shaking his head at his granddaughter's love of his watch and clock shop. Child, I have all the time in the world. Nice pun. A few people can wait. We're the only clock shop in town, so unless they want to drive 3 hours just to fix their clocks, they can wait while I get my granddaughter ready for her birthday. It's not every day you turn 20, he hummed, handing her the brush that she had left at the foot of her bed to let her untangle her hair. Besides, I have a gift for you. Hi, Marcella. Bye, Scout. It's okay. Little do you know about that pun. I'm sure. But again, Simon, do you see what I was saying about the dialogue here? How there's a lot of like there's a lot of exposition. And we're assuming that these characters know each other. Like this isn't their first interaction. So like how I'm trying to explain this in the best way that I can. I feel like the entire conversation that just happened between these two characters, you could shorten to like 2 lines of dialogue. I'm not even kidding. Maybe 3, considering like the clock shop. And shorter stories are better. I'll just tell you guys that right now. If you can shorten your story, you know how short people's attention spans are, so it'll help a lot. But like this line right here from the grandpa, child, I have all the time in the world. A few people can wait. We're the only clock shop in town, so unless they want to drive 3 hours just to fix their clocks, they can wait while I get my granddaughter ready for her birthday. It's not every day you turn 20, Besides, I have a gift for you. I mean, you could honestly take this entire part and just be like, and again, I say this lovingly. I'm not criticizing your story whatsoever. This is just my advice. Feel free to completely disregard it. Um, you could honestly say, they'll be fine. Besides, I have a gift for you. You see? Like the same information is still communicated. If as far as this being the only clock shop in town, I feel like you can show that through another character. I don't know where this chapter or where the story is going to go, but if he's talking to a customer, it could just come up naturally, right? Like, I was going to go to such and such shop, but I mean, that's 3 hours away. I'm not going all the way there. You guys are here, and you know what they say about supporting small businesses, or just something like that, you know? Um, I'm not worried about length. I completely understand that. I'm just saying, like, is dialogue is how people get to know your characters, not through thoughts, not even through actions. It's through dialogue. That's how the audience visualizes a character. And when the dialogue is too exposition heavy, it kind of blurs the character a little bit. The character goes from being a character to whatever the heck was going on in Aquaman 2. If you know, you know. That's like the most exposition heavy movie I've ever seen. Anyway, that is not what this story is. This is a great story. Um yeah, just something to consider. Let's keep reading though. Let's keep reading and let's see what happens with these characters and their clock shop and the birthday. The orange-haired girl blinked, shifting to turn more towards her grandfather, starting to untangle her hair. The knit dress she had worn last night shifting uncomfortably against her stomach as she tilted her head in surprise and totally not before she was untangling and yanking the hair on the side of her head. We have placed a lot of emphasis on this like hair thing that's stuck in it. Like, do you get where I'm coming from here? Do you get, are my words coming off well? Uh, Prof, my cringe old wolf story is posted to the community page if you want to look at it after. Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, Simon, I want to reiterate the only reason I'm saying these things is because I care. This is exactly the kind of writing that I used to do. And this is the feedback that I was given. And so now I'm trying to pass it on to you. I was thinking of showing a character dialogue with two people, but it's long. Well, again, the easiest way to get around this is just to say the lines out loud. Read it out loud, like what I'm doing right now. When you write something, say it out loud. Does it feel natural? Does it sound like something a human being or whatever character would say to someone else? Because we're going based on what I know about these characters. It's a grandpa and a granddaughter, and they run a clock shop. So not only are they family, they're coworkers. So there is a level of familiarity there that honestly less is more when it comes to dialogue like this. But again, you completely disregard all of this if you want. This is your story. I'm just offering 2 cents on it, and that's about all this advice is worth. But yeah, let's continue going here. No, it's not another book, and technically it's 2 presents and a gift for the future. So 3 presents. He hummed, reaching behind his back since he had also turned to face her, bringing out the white box just bigger than his well-worked hands. It wasn't wrapped, but had a measly tied ribbon bow, as orange as her hair. Clashing colors. Sorry, I'll shut up. It looked just like a little bulkier than the It looked just a little bulkier than the boxes they normally would send watches back to their owners in. He handed it to her as she set down the brush on the bed as she finished de-knotting half of her hair. His eyes sparkled as he watched her open it. That's a very good description right there. Inside, there was an older wristwatch. What a surprise! One that he had restored from just before the Millennium Change, a neo-vintage piece. It was simple, mostly brown, but with gold inlays around the watch face protection. And he had clearly recolored the well-loved watch hands to be the same orange as her hair. I saw you enjoy I saw you eyeing it when we first got in. I couldn't say no to the way your whole face lit up looking at it. He spoke softly, watching fondly as her face did the exact thing he had described it had when she first laid eyes on it. There's something else under the plush. Aika's eyes were tearing up as she lightly picked up the wristwatch, sliding it on her wrist and tightening the wrist strap. the wrist strap, before gingerly removing the plush that was under it. Underneath was a true vintage pocket watch. Dang, 2 watches? Well, we know who's got the time. Which he hadn't changed beside making some of the numbers more swirled. He had polished, lacquered, and restored the golden watch back, the silver lining holding the face covering, and even cleaned the dust off of the white clock face. The new chain rattled as Ika gently took the watch out of the box, inspecting the engravings on the back. You always are fidgeting with that broken one, so I thought you'd enjoy having one that will actually tell the time. So wait, the first one doesn't tell the time? Gramps, I love it. Thank you so much. The girl hugged her smaller grandfather, who patted her back fondly. Of course, sweetheart. There's one other thing. We should be getting the materials in soon. You can finally design your first wall clock soon. All the sleepiness left Ika's face as she grinned excitingly. Really? Her voice went up nearly an octave. Excitement. Let me try that real quick. Really? No, we're going back to normal. Sorry, can't do that. Can't do that. I have limits, okay? I have limits to the range I can do. All right. Really? Her voice went up nearly an octave, excitement dripping almost palpably. Aiko chortled lightly. Chortled. What an awesome word. When have I lied to you? It should be here in 2 days. Aika threw her arms around her grandfather, almost knocking him down. All right, my darling. Happy birthday. He's starting to sound like Khan in my head for some reason. Anyone else getting Khan? Instead of doors, it's like clocks and pocket watches. It's Con Dorman, everybody. Con Dorman 2.0. Somebody do a Murder Drones AU where they're puppets instead of drones and they're all made out of wood, and Khan is crazy about clocks instead of doors. Somebody make that real. We need a steampunk Murder Drones AU, dang it. Except it should be called Murder Puppets instead of Murder Drones. I'm full of great ideas, everybody. Okay. Oh, shoot, you're right. I should go before it starts warming up too much. Thank you, Gramps. She squeezed him once more before grabbing clothes from the closet and darting to the bathroom to change. Just remember to be home tonight for dinner. We're getting your favorite. It was less than 15 minutes later when she left her house through the clock shop, her shoulder-length orange hair up in a messy bun. I like how Simon is actively editing this while I'm reading it. Her shoulder-length orange hair up in a messy bun, soft makeup hiding behind her round golden glasses, and a cozy black and white plaid dress covering her body. The square skirt creating an uneven style hanging around her knees as her heeled boots clicked on the sidewalk. I love that detail. As she headed to the coffee shop right next door. Morning, Miss Kaneko. Kaneko? You want your usual? One of the workers behind the counter asked, already moving to the register. Ika nodded, smiling slightly. Morning, Axel. Yes, please. She hummed as she approached the counter, leaning on it as she looked around. Armando off for the day? Yes, ma'am. Also, happy birthday. This one's free. Dang, okay. Thank you so much, Axel. Have a wonderful day. And there we go. That is the beginning to Starseeds. Interesting. Steampunk drones, drone stall. Hey, you want to collaborate on something? Let's make that story happen next, huh? I think that'd be kind of cool, actually. All right. Final thoughts on Simon's story. It's very exposition heavy, but oh man, is this a world I want to explore. The clock shop, the idea that she lives with her grandpa, that's pretty darn cute. I like that. I like how wholesome the story is to start. I am clapping. I am also clapping. You guys can't see it, but it's happening. Trust. This is a great start. A very, very great start. I would say, yeah, my biggest piece of advice is to just go back and say this out loud and shorten it where you can, because less really is more. And the last thing you want to do, because you really only get one shot as a writer, when you produce a book, you get the back and you get page 1. You get page 1. That's it. If somebody doesn't like your story by the time they read the back and page 1, they're going to close it, put it back on the shelf, and never look back. That is just the reality of it. So I understand that this is still very early in its development stage, but if you can tighten this up, I I foresee something really, really special here. I agree with Rainbow. It's cute and it seems interesting. That's the best way I could possibly describe it. Well done, Simon. Room for improvement, but when is there not? So, excellent job. Excellent job overall. And thank you so much for sharing this with us. I hope to see you again. As always, more than happy to look into this again in the future. All right, we got one more story for today, I think. Would be a fun idea. Haha, I draw from Dishonored, which is more whale punk, but has some elements. Okay, Drone. So, Dishonored. That does happen to be one of my favorite video games of all time. So I see exactly where you're coming from. And I mean, can you think of a better story to fit into the like arcane side of Dishonored than Murder Drones with the Solver and stuff? Imagine if the Solver took the place of the Outsider. The Outsider from Dishonored, not Dishonored 2. We don't talk about that Outsider. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, you know? I'm just saying. I think we've got something special. Dishonored really is amazing. Guys, when's the last time you played Dishonored? I gotta know. Let's view the channel here. Go to the community page. Newest. Cool art as well from Dr. Pepper fan. There's Bliss. Aw, how cute. Excellent job there. Guys, please consider commissioning AU Silence. Incredible artist, regular person who's put in some good work to the 11 out of 10 art folder. Currently looking for commissions. Please give him a shot. I think he's absolutely worth commissioning. Maybe someday I'll share Growing Pains with you whenever it's published on Wattpad. Do it, Drone. I'm here for it. Cool. Gubble Twist. Very interesting art here as well. Got like a chameleon looking thing animation. Very cool. This is Moxie. Hello, Moxie. Well done, Anne. Then we've got, here's my OC. Please tell me it's not too late. It's never too late. Also, that's very crass. Oh dear. Who do you guys like more? Tayama or Makima? Well, I really don't like Makima, and I don't know who Tayama is, so I'm going to say Tayama. But, yeah, pretty interesting stuff there. I prefer just about everything from Dishonored 1. The Outsider was more interesting, the story was more engaging, and I found the characters fun. The Solver being this neutral figure would be new. I know, right? Well, it would kind of fit, dude, we're brainstorming right now. It would kind of fit the story because if Uzi takes the place of Dishonored, like the idea is that she's cast out from the colony, she's framed for something she didn't do, and maybe the Solver, or maybe the disassembly drones have the Solver's power in some capacity, or they're like servants of the Solver or something. We could workshop it a little. But the idea is that the Outsider is the Solver, and the Solver grants different individuals their power, individuals like Sin, and individuals like Nori and Uzi. My mind is starting to race. This is turning into another drones on stilts, similar to Tall Boys, Tall Drones. Dude. No. Oh, we could do, what would the sound guys be? You know the sound guys? The ones that disrupt your abilities. They have like this massive crank and it creates this horrible sound and it makes you unable to use your abilities. What would those be? Oh, you could even like the Solver symbol to the Outsider's mark. That's what I'm thinking. So instead of having the symbol in their eyes, it would be on their hand. The Murder Drones could be similar to the Duad Whalers. Yes. Oh, we got to make this happen at this point, Drone. We've got to make this happen at some point. Oh, man. Is he reviewing art in the community page as well? Yeah, for the time being. I'm looking for a story that was shared. By the way, Wade Smith, another absolute legend of an artist. Well done. 11 out of 10 on that one, sir. 11 out of 10. Midnight the Joker? Yeah. Instant like. Love that. Anything Joker, like circus related, I'm here for it. Why can't I submit my OC? Probably because the form is full. Scout, rendering is hard? Pfft, you're telling me. Excellent artwork there. My OC, uncolored. Interesting OC. I like how he's doing a little dance thing there. Very cool. Aw, cute little moth. Very, very cute little moth character there. Ooh, Cherry. Very interesting character. I love that. Can my OC join? Absolutely, man. I love it. Nice and gray. Let me like that one as well. Hi, I made this a little while ago. I wanted your opinion on it. Very cutesy. Whoa, that's not cute, but that's cutesy. I love the little cat right there as well. The music box overseers. Yeah, I can see those being drones outfitted with heavy speakers. I would love to brainstorm more. Dude, my DMs are always open. Seriously. I really want to collaborate with other YouTubers on another like Murder Drones project, whatever it might be. I mean, we already have Alice in Wonderland with the Amazing Digital Circus characters, which is absolutely incredible. We have Transformers meets Murder Drones as well. I think the wooden steampunk, or I guess Dishonored Murder Drone story, I feel like that would be sick. I don't think anyone's done an idea like that so far. Welcome back, EU. Welcome. Well, the only time I'm able to have internet in this forest. I'm camping, by the way. Got any internet? Barely got any internet, but still alive. I'm glad, GE Studios. Hope camping is fun for you. Ooh, Yellow and Blue from Deltarune Chapter 5. Haven't played Deltarune. Is it good? Shout out to Professor Yara. Oh, Baby Armstrong or Armstrong Jr.? Oh, he's so freaking cute. I love it. I'm saving that. I'm 100% saving that. That is so cute. Excellent job. Shout out to DinoZilla Edits on YouTube. DinoZilla Edits. Excellent job there. Very, very cute. I'm going to save this to the fan art folder, actually. DinoZilla Edits. There we go. That is adorable. Okay, and Sunburst Scales Dragons. Wow. That is a heck of a page right there. Or any other social that works. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think your Discord allows friend requests. It does. There is someone else who has the name Prof Sir. My Discord username, let me show you guys real quick. There is a dot in it. It's prof.sir right here. You can kind of see it on the side over here. Prof.sir. So send me a friend request if you guys want. Just this is in general for everybody across the world. Please be professional. That's all I ask. But yeah, there you go, everybody. And a whole family of Armstrongs would be terrifying. Yeah, it would. It would be terrifying, wouldn't it? Absolutely terrifying. Good thing there's only one. Definitely. Good thing there's only one. I hope you won't mind that my story might have some grammatical errors. That's fine. I appreciate the clarification. Yeah, no problem. Just prof.sir. Send me a request, everybody. As you guys can see, I get a lot of DMs from people regularly. It never stops. But that's okay. That's what I'm here for. And this is just Discord. Wait till you see my Instagram DMs. But excellent work here. No neck gang. I love it. Sleepy Dial Snake. Interesting artwork here. Shout out to everyone who likes Cuphead. Ooh, that's the Resident Evil guy. Wesker. Very cool. Albert Wesker from Resident Evil. He does have an iconic look. Excellent job on the drawings, too. Ooh, I like that. Okega based him off of E123 Omega from Sonic Heroes. I can see the inspiration. Very cool drawing, though. I like that. Oh, that's pretty. That is pretty right there. I love that. Absolutely love that. That's gorgeous. Random artist. 11 out of 10 on that one. I'm saving that one, actually. I'm absolutely going to save this one. Robin, congratulations. You've made it into the folder, the 11 out of 10 folder. I guess we're reviewing art now, everybody. I guess we're going to review art now for a little bit. This is Random Artist. Awesome. Absolutely peak art. Rage bait heals the soul. Does it, though? I feel like it's... I don't know. Hi, Waffle. How's it going? Oh. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that is beautiful. Here is some Jay fan art I just finished that I started making during the stream today. I hope you like it. I love everything within this. I'm trying to be different from what it recommended I type. That is awesome. That is so awesome. Guys, if you've drawn Jay, please post it on the community page. Please, please post it on the community page. You guys know how much I love Jay as a character. Like, absolutely would love. Hey, Machete Hamster! Execution. Excellent art as always. But yeah, guys, if you have any Jay artwork, I would love to see it personally. Seriously, nothing would make my day better. Nothing would make my day better. We need more AI horror. We've already got that. It's called Terminator. Excellent sketches, though. I like this. Wow, that's a lot. You know that this is a well-used sketchbook. When you got scribbled writing like this along with sketches, that's how you know it's a real sketchbook. Check it out. Zero productivity. Yep. I want to know what love is. I can sing better than Jay, confirmed. Oh, man. Is that a pair of trousers? You guys are so random sometimes. You know that? I need ideas on what to draw on these pants. Vixenova, hello. How are you? Dronestall and I just brainstormed the coolest Murder Drones AU ever. Absolutely super, super cool. Everyone say hello to Vixenova. We love Vixenova around here. And subscribe to her YouTube channel while you're at it. Subscribe to Dronestall too, actually. Both of them are incredible Murder Drones creators. But what to draw on? Well, I know what I'm gonna say. Like, I know exact. Oh, comments are turned off. Quinn, how are we supposed to offer feedback if the comments are turned off? Bro, come on. Make a new post. Make a new post. Make sure comments are turned on. Ooh, Star. Apparently it's done. Ooh, working on a new one. It's legendary. Star is such a good artist. Like, oh my gosh. Everything about that. All of that is so good. Oh, and serial designation Delta. Apparently, funny little story for you guys real quick. So yesterday when I was, dancing around and trying to mimic some of the artwork, apparently serial designation Delta took a screenshot and sent it to a friend, and yeah. Oh, is my dude all right? He looks like he's tweaking, and why does it look like there's an explosion happening next to him? He's talking about my window. Does this really look like an explosion to you guys? It's light. I don't have a curtain. I'm sorry. One day I'll get a curtain, and then I can, fix my lighting problem, but... Oh, yeah, Vixen... Oh, crap. I haven't seen part 2 yet. Did that come out today or yesterday? My apologies. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. We're going to go ahead and close the stream. We've been going for 2.5 hours just about, so I think it's a pretty good stream overall, but I'm going to go ahead and end the stream because I know Vixenova has been working for quite a while on the latest episode of Absolute Control? Am I having a brain fart? Yes, Absolute Control is what it's called. Sorry, there's a lot of Murder Drones AUs out there. Sometimes I get the titles mixed up. But I know Vixenova's been putting her heart and soul into Absolute Control Part 2. Just like Dronestall has been putting his heart and soul into his absolutely incredible project. But I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and... Today was an experiment. Today was definitely a stream that was an experiment. Trying something new, reading your guys' stories. Let me know what your thoughts were. Was I too harsh? Was I too lenient? Were there stories that made you question your reality? Question why you're here, what you're doing, and where you're going after dinner? Let me know in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have... Don't call me CG2. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening.